book lovers, and welcome back to Rose and Reed's podcast. I'm Sophia.
I'm Haley.
Here we are. We're going to do Fourth Wing Part 2.
We're back.
Yes.
I cannot wait to talk about the second part.
Oh, yeah. So good. We've got our wine.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers to the start of the second part of this Fourth Wing book. I'm so excited.
Okay, so when we left off, Violet got her 2 dragons, Taryn and Indarna. So awesome. And now we're just going to go from there. This has basically never happened. The humans are super confused. It's chaotic. Dragons go off and they talk. They say that it's totally fine. She gets to keep her 2 dragons.
She gets to keep them.
Yay.
And here we are.
We're here for it.
I love them, and I love both of her dragons.
I know.
And this just was such a good stopping point for this, for the last podcast, because it's so freaking intense.
It is.
She gets them, and in the book, I was just sitting there reading it going, holy crap.
I was just so glad that she got to keep them. And I liked the fact that it was like not up to the humans. It was up to the dragons to decide if it was
They were
okay.
just like, you piddly humans. You guys don't get to decide this.
It's like, no, this is our decision.
Well, yeah. And it makes now Violet such a badass. So a day goes by.
Yeah.
She gets her dragons. They're in the cafeteria with her little squad.
Yes.
And they're all sitting at the table together. And
People are like coming up to her and being like, hey, Violet. Oh my gosh.
she's like, what is going
What?
on?
It's all weird. People that were strong before are getting ousted because they didn't get a good dragon.
Yeah.
Kind of, it like reminded me of almost like high school. Kind of
absolutely.
trying to figure out where you're going to sit.
in the cafeteria. Oh, this is the cool table.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now Violet's part of that cool table.
And we find out that one of her dragons, Taryn, is mated with Xaden's dragon, Sigale.
Plot twist.
Plot
I
twist.
love that.
I did too. I was like, oh, so it's a whole little.
Well, now it's
Four-way.
a circle. So, like, she
Mhm.
finds out that if Taryn dies, Sigale dies. And then that means if your dragon dies, you die. So
they're all
Xaden
dead.
dies.
So
So
hopefully
it's
nobody dies.
literally a full circle. Nobody can die.
Nope. Now
So-
Xaden is like having to keep her alive.
Yeah, which I love because Violet needs that. She literally can't die.
Exactly. Well, no, she's a main character.
Yes.
Oh gosh, but yeah, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
So now Vi has some new duties.
yeah, she's no longer poisoning people in the breakfast line. She gets to go to the scribes quadrant.
Well, which she's so happy about.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, that's where her
I
roots
know.
are.
She gets to go back, but she kind of feels like she doesn't fit in there anymore.
Well, because she's now a badass, so
She
I wouldn't
is.
fit in either.
She is a badass. But we're introduced to Jacinia, which was, I guess, one of her friends when she was in the scribes.
We can't talk
No.
this morning. Oh, we can't talk anytime. It's fine.
Scribes quadrant. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the beginning, okay, so when I was reading this part, I was like, Jacinia, I've heard this name before. There's a little excerpt at the beginning of the book, and it says this story was transcribed and translated by Jacinia.
No, it does not.
It does. Yeah. So like
See, you pick up on all the good crap in every
Little
single
Easter
book.
eggs?
Yes, I didn't know that.
I know.
Oh, and then also another thing that I caught on, which it took me a second,
Mhm.
that Jacinia is deaf.
Yeah, I liked that. She brought that in. But the way she wrote it in was so smooth. I
Yeah.
almost didn't catch it. I was like, wait, why are they
That's-
signing?
Me too.
And I was like, oh, she's deaf.
I was like, that's really cool.
It is cool.
I mean, she's bringing in lots of disabilities into
Mhm.
the book, which is neat.
bringing awareness to them.
Which is neat.
And I like it. I'm here for it.
So yeah, I can't believe you picked that up in the beginning of the book that she transcribed basically the story.
Yeah.
So that's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's okay, so she's there, she's in the scribe quadrant,
Yep.
hanging out with her friend.
Yep. And then she starts doing her little flight lessons where she keeps falling off. Violet keeps falling off her dragon. Can't keep her seat during the flight lessons because now they have their
Shocking.
dragons, so they have to practice riding their dragons. Go figure.
She's never been good at from the start.
Nope. And we find out at these little flight lessons that Taryn really doesn't like Dane. We can like hear because when you get your dragon, they can mind speak to each other. And I like how Taryn is just so like catty almost in her mind. It's like a grumpy old man.
That's exactly what I was about to say. He just reminds me of
Tell the squad leader to take his hands off you.
Yeah,
or
kind
I
of
will
like
burn
the-
him alive.
the old grandpa.
Yes.
That's like such a badass though that you don't want to mess with.
Exactly.
But in the voice, it's like, I don't want to do this, but I will because I love you. Like,
He was funny. I really enjoyed Taryn's little
He's
blurbs. Yes, he is cute. Oh, But yeah, so she can't keep her seat in her flight lessons. So Xaden has Imogen start training her, which Imogen was the first girl that ever challenged or had to spar against Violet and broke
that's
her arm.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, who is this girl?
I know.
I can't keep up.
There were a lot of characters in this story,
Lots.
like a lot.
Well, and she doesn't really want to, but she understands that if she needs to help Xaden keep Vi alive. And so she's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, let's do it. And they kind of start being friends a little bit.
Yeah, they're all like sitting together at the cafeteria tables now. They're all kind of just joining in. Let's keep Violet alive. Yay. I feel like that's just the overarching theme of this entire book.
Yeah, basically.
Everybody, let's do everything we can to keep her alive.
Yes. Oh, man.
Oh, we find out that there is... So now that they got their dragons, some of their signet powers are starting to manifest. And when she's walking to a class, one of these guys, he starts freaking out because he's mind reading. He's hearing other people's thoughts.
That was crazy. I forgot about that part. And
the Intrinsic.
He's sitting there, and he runs into the middle of the classroom, and he's just feeling.
Did you see classroom? I thought they were in the hallway.
Really? Oh, I thought they were in the classroom.
You know, sometimes the imagery is not there in this story. It kind of we've done that a couple times with this, that we see different things.
Like I just kind of thought that it was like maybe before or after class, and they're just sitting.
Well,
there.
that's what I thought too. I just thought they were in a hall. I thought he ran out of a classroom and he started freaking out.
Maybe
he started reading people's thoughts, and Xaden's
instantly
like, start thinking about something else. Like, you don't want your thoughts being out there.
Yeah,
but he does start talking about Garrick's thoughts. I don't know if you caught this. So Garrick is one of Xaden's friends, and he says, what did I write? Garrick's thoughts, what he'll know about. And then that's when the professor comes over and basically snaps his neck. R.I.P. Intrinsic dude. But
yeah, the professor
know about what, Garrick?
Snaps his neck in front of everybody because so I was kind of confused about this right when he did that. I was like, I'm sorry. He just killed the student and I don't understand why. In front of everybody. Well, he kills him because you can't have that power. It doesn't stop. You can't know that much information. And look, it was driving
kind
him
of
crazy.
Controlling though, don't you think?
It was. So
I think as a society, to just kill off anybody who has that power is a little bit controlling. I get why they do it.
Yeah.
But
he can't control it. Look at, he was going crazy.
He was going crazy.
So
that's true.
It was sad.
It was sad.
Everybody's starting to get some powers and their signets are coming through, which is neat because I can't wait to see what hers is going to be.
Oh, I know. Okay, so after that, the big attack happens whenever 7 cadets come into Violet's room while she's asleep.
Which we know from the last episode in the first part of the book is that it's part of the code.
The codex.
The codex is you can't kill somebody while they're sleeping.
Nope. And they come in there.
Kind of messed up.
And she wakes up and she's like, what the heck? There's literally just people all around me. There's a girl in the door. She doesn't know how they got in her door, but they just basically attack her. And Taryn's in her mind say just like, hold on. He's on his way. He's on his way.
Fight him off. He's trying to help her, like move this way, move that way. And Darna.
Oh, and then Darna steps in. Yep.
She steps in. And so we know that in Darna, we find this out here, is that she pauses time.
Yeah,
she can stop time. So she stops everybody. Big power. She freezes everybody. And
Violet's able to sneak out of the way of some
moving around. She doesn't even want to hurt anybody, which is so crazy. She's not trying to kill anybody. She just really wants out of this room. And so she's kind of sneaking out of her way to get a better position. And then time
resumes, and then Xaden shows up.
Yes.
Oof.
Xaden's immediately at the door.
Fury. He basically just executes 6 of them on the spot.
Yes. And we see the girl at the door run away. But this was a little bit before Xaden came. But
yeah, she definitely ran away before Xaden came because after this, Xaden takes Violet because she's okay. You know, he checks her out first. He's like making sure everything's okay. Like, you're not super hurt. But he sneaks her out to go talk to the dragons. They got to have their little meeting.
Yes.
And he's like, what the hell happened in there?
And we figure out that Darna can't, she's still a baby.
Yeah, this is when we find out that feather tails actually mean that they are babies.
Yeah, which we didn't know. Dragons. We just thought it was a small dragon. Yeah. She's actually a baby. And she has powers, yes, but she can't wield them for that long.
Right. And if you have somebody who's connected to a baby, they could take all their power and essentially kill the dragon,
Yes.
which they don't want. They don't want to kill their babies because, people are greedy.
I know.
And so if they did that with all of them, that's why. And she said, "That's why I chose you." I love your voice. My Andarna voice.
Yes.
That's just what I picture in my head. Actually, no, that's in the audiobook. That's how they used her voice. And I was
I
like, "Oh,
know.
that's sweet."
But it is sweet, and that's exactly how I pictured it too.
right,
So,
just little baby voice.
I know. So they have the Feathertails are babies, which is amazing. And then so we figure out that they want to kill Violet because
What, the people?
yeah,
Yeah, because they're pissed that she got these 2 badass dragons.
they're fucking
So,
jealous.
Yeah, these are the unbonded riders who come in there. We forgot to mention that. Yeah,
Okay.
big part. Big
Well, I
part.
was like, wait a second, why are they
Because
attacking?
Oren was in there as well, I think, and that's the
That's
guy
right.
that she left alive after the attack from Threshing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, now he's dead.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
he's dead. Yay. Not R.I.P. We're okay with it. But after this, so she lets Xaden know that the way these cadets got into her room was because a squad leader let them in.
Which is not good.
No, it's not cool at all. But he believes her, and he sets up like basically a little mini trial within the school and brings up Amber, accuses her of the attack. And Dane is apparently really close friends with this girl and is like, "That's not true. Tell them it's not true, Violet." And she's like, "It is
It's
true.
true.
Like, why don't you believe me?" And
he goes, let me touch your face because he
Yeah.
can read her mind. And she's like,
"Give me your memories," is something what he says.
Yeah, she pulls away and she goes, absolutely not.
WTF, bro? Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
You don't believe me.
Believe me.
Yeah.
And 2, you don't need to be using your powers on me.
Mm-hmm.
And
So she basically shows that memory of her standing in the doorway to Taryn, her dragon, and then Taryn shows it to all the other dragons. So it's like, oh, well, yep,
it's true.
she did it. And then execution. Amber's gone.
Amber's gone.
Yay, another one bites the dust. I'm actually kind of happy. She was also the one when they had to climb that thing. She was the one who was bitching that Violet used a knife to get up the.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Kind of.
She's just kind of annoying. Glad
They
she's
all
gone.
are, except for Vi and Xaden.
I know. Gosh, speaking of which, the buildup between these 2.
There is some sexual tension going on. I'm just going to lay that out there right now. While you're reading this, you're like, when is something going to happen
When are they
between
going to
them?
do it?
Yes,
I was
when are they going to?
literally just on the edge of my seat, like, okay, come on, let's get some spiciness too.
Well, and
I was ready.
it still doesn't happen. They're still bickering at each other.
Mhm.
And it's just building up, and then they finally kiss though. So where's that kiss take place?
So after the attack, Xaden, before the kiss, he assigns Liam to watch over her.
Liam, let's back up to little Liam.
I love
not little.
Liam.
He's like
He's
this
like a big
buff,
badass,
strong,
hottie.
hot guy, and you're just
Blue
like,
eyes, blonde hair, just a sweet. I pictured just like a sweet big man, like a
Yes.
teddy bear almost.
I know, but it's
Little
like,
wood carvings.
yeah, he does these little wood carvings
Of
and
the
gives them out
dragon.
to like his friends,
It
and
was so sweet. I loved it.
he's really, really, really nice. He is a rebel kid, right? Like
He is. Yeah, he's like basically a little brother to Xaden.
Yes.
They were fostered in the same home. We find that out later, but it's important.
Yeah. And so Xaden basically goes, Liam, I want you to watch over Vi. Basically, if I would be watching over her,
Yeah.
you need to take your
Take
life
care
for
of her.
her.
Yeah, take care of her.
Basically.
Because
And,
if she dies, I die, and nobody wants Xaden to die.
no.
Or
and-
Violet.
No,
Again.
yeah. And I just,
Protect Violet at all costs.
he just becomes one of my favorite people. He has these funny one-liners, and I just really
He's
love
so
him.
sweet. I know it was kind of like annoying me because throughout the story, Violet didn't really like him as his shadow, as her shadow for a
She
while.
would be like, "Get away! Like, why do you have to
Yes.
stand here and do
I'm
everything with
sorry,
me?"
but if I had like a hot, sexy blonde man following me around,
Follow
I'd be
me
like,
anywhere.
"Okay, yeah, you can stay right there,
You wanna-
honey.
You want to see me dress into my vest?
You want me to get
Sure.
dressed for you?" But yeah, I mean, like, stop being a little baby there, Violet. We know you need it. So after he does that, and they've done some like classes and stuff, and he's followed her around for a while. One night, she starts feeling her powers that she can start wielding
Oh,
because
yeah.
Taryn, like, starts channeling. That's the word. So many different vocabulary words are used
know.
in this story.
I know.
He starts channeling to her, and she gets all like hot and bothered because I guess Taryn and Sigale are doing it, and she can
Oh,
feel
yeah.
it. And so she runs outside to get some air, and Zayden's already out there. He's like smoking his charum. Is that what it was?
I basically thought it was pot.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. It's weed for
it's-
sure.
Okay. And I was like, oh, okay. He's out there smoking,
Mhm.
calming down. And Violet's like, what are you doing? You don't smoke. And he's like, you'll need this.
It's illegal. It's like, yeah, well, nobody else has had to listen to these two go at it for days.
Yeah. And so they're just kind of both out there talking about their dragons. And
He teaches her how to shield like really quickly, and she picks it up really quickly. And I
So-
thought this part was so sweet.
well, shield what? Like shield in
Shield
your
in her mind, shield out the dragons a little bit so that she has some space from them, and she picks it up super quick so that she doesn't have to hear them doing it all the time. Yeah. And he like says, wow, you're amazing. And
You're astonishing.
astonishing. Yeah. And she's never heard anybody like compliment her like that before. And she's just like, oh,
Well, she never got compliments ever, except for
No.
maybe by her dad and her brother.
I know.
And which two people
But
that
I
she
just thought
lost.
it was really sweet.
I know.
And so they start kissing, which was super hot and sexy. And I was,
And there's thunder
all here
around
for it.
it. I know.
that was our first little sign.
Well, it's a sign.
It's a sign. We'll get to that later. But
No, but there's thunder.
did you pick up on that when you read
I
it?
hope so.
I hope so.
Listeners.
Little thunderstruck over there.
Yeah.
What could that be?
I love it. So then
The next day, of course, she has to tell her bestie Rhiannon.
she comes over to her. She's like, what's happened to you? Because
Yeah.
I can feel it.
Right.
Something's happened. She's
Right.
like, I kissed
So they have a
him."
little girl talk.
Yeah, which is
Obviously,
kinda
it was
fun.
hot. But we find out that Rhiannon has her signet power,
Yeah.
and she can summon, which is like bring stuff to her, or telekinesis. If
So
you
if
know
my
what that
my
means.
wine glass sitting here, I can just like bring it to me.
Ugh, I wish I could do it. I'm
Would
over here like trying to make it come to me. That would be so cool.
I know. Now I'm like, oh, I'll just pick it up.
Oh
and
my
have a little
gosh!
sip.
If you could have a power, what would it be?
Oh God.
Right?
Let me give that some thought, and maybe I'll do that
Okay,
with the big.
I'll
three.
tell you what mine is.
Oh, you already know. Okay.
I've always thought I always have wanted to be able to like control all forms of water. So like water, ice, and steam.
Oh,
Right?
okay. I
Right?
really like that.
I
That
know.
is so different.
I was really into X-Men as a kid, so that's always been my favorite. Little tidbit, and we'll come back to you at the end of this.
Oh God, now I got to
Just
think
one.
of it as I'm doing this.
Mhm. Okay, so she tells her bestie about the kiss. Yay, we're super happy. And now that Rhiannon can wield her signet, and Violet can channel. So they're now in Professor Carr's class. And Professor Carr is the one who teaches them how to handle their powers.
Oh, cool.
He's
Okay.
also the one who, executed that Intensic guy.
yeah.
so
He's
she's a
intense.
little-
He's
yeah.
an intense professor, but he's there for the good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he is.
Mm-hmm. He is.
I mean, he's just teaching them how to.
oh, well, yeah,
properly
no.
use it.
Violet's just kind of like a little standoffish
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
But
I
no,
agree.
you're right. So we also find out.
Dane's touching her fucking face again.
Yes, I know. Always.
Get off of her face. I don't know. That's just annoying. Time's kind of flying by.
Oh, the challenge. Jack finally challenges Violet. That's where
Yeah.
we're at. I got a little lost there for a minute. Sorry. But so Jack challenges Violet. They
She's kind of nervous about it. She's like, how the hell am I going to beat him? Because he really just wants to kill me.
right.
And
course.
so they're fighting. And she, all of a sudden at the very end, she's about to pass out. He has her in like a chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's beating the crap out of
she
her.
throws orange powder, right? Or is it orange or literally just oranges? Like
I don't remember
I
if
thought
it
it
was
was like a-
powder or if it was like a juice that she slams into
in
his,
his face and
yeah.
his nose.
and he's
stuff.
like deathly allergic of oranges.
oranges. So he immediately stops and immediately is like, shit, I need help because
Mhm.
I'm going to die
Mhm.
just from an allergic reaction.
Death by oranges.
Yeah, basically.
I wish she
So-
would have died. Death by oranges. It would
So
have been so funny.
she escaped another sparring match.
Right. She is still alive at this point. Go figure.
Yeah.
And
So now
then
the squad games begin.
yes, finally.
All right.
This is where it starts to get interesting.
It reminds me the squad games of the Triwizard Tournament.
yes.
Harry Potter.
100%.
Yeah.
I totally feel
I
that.
was reading that and I was like, okay, way to pull from this book.
Right, we're gonna do some little battles.
Yeah.
But honestly, this part kind of confused me because she just briefly skims over what they've been doing. There was like a flight test that Violet came in last. There was something else that they did.
I know. And then
I can't even remember it.
And then now they have to go steal something. though even the way she worded it, I was like, what are they stealing?
Yeah.
And it was just kind of to help their squad.
Yeah, they're in third place after Liam's challenge because of course sparring was involved. You got to fight always.
Yeah.
And then they're told to go steal something that an enemy could use against Navarre.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so being smart little Vi, she's like, well, my mom's office is right around the corner. Yeah. I know exactly what we can steal. And it's a map.
Mm-hmm.
It's a map of Navarre.
Right.
And it's a current one. So
Current map says all like the positions of all the squads, where everything is.
battlefields. It's very current. And she's like,
So they obviously win.
yeah, they go in there, steal it. Super fun little scene.
I liked the scene of them.
I did too.
stealing
It was fun. It was
here for it.
entertaining.
Mhm.
They had
She
to
used
take
everybody's powers. One of these people can like, what was it when they can auto project or something?
Oh yeah, so like if I'm sitting here in my chair and then I look in the hallway, I am standing kind of in the hallway as like a ghost figure.
Yeah, I wish
And
I had
it's
written
like,
it down. I don't remember
Hey
the word.
Haley, what are you doing? But I can't really
Astral project. That's what it was
Yeah.
called. Astral project.
I can't really talk or anything. It's just me.
It's like a
there.
ghost. No,
It's
they
a
can,
ghost.
I think they can talk. It's not like they
That
can't kill me. It's like a
just
ghost.
kind of a ghost. Yeah. So
It's a ghost.
it's neat. It's really neat.
That would be a fun one.
I would like that. That's actually pretty cool.
That would be a fun one for
You're
sure.
like in two places at one time.
Yeah.
So
So they win, and the prize is they get to go join an active squad somewhere on the borders.
yes, which is neat. So you get to see Violet's all excited. Her best friend is
Mhm.
really excited because she's going home.
Yeah, it's really close to Rhiannon's place of where she grew up, basically.
Grew
Her
up.
sister lives there. Her parents live there.
Now, the only bad thing about this is that Violet has to go.
Mhm.
Zayden does not because he's not part of this in her
Mhm.
little squad. And so their dragons, though, cannot be separated for long periods of time.
Mhm.
And so I think they're going to be gone for like 5 days.
It
Something
was like a
that.
week, yeah, at least.
And
that's pretty long.
And
So-
everybody's like, how long? Zayden can't go. So how long can they be without each other? Well,
not very long.
not very long. He shows up at the doorstep
Yeah.
3 days later and he's like, absolutely not. This was even pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And
So Gale needed to be with Taryn.
yeah,
That's his excuse, but I feel like it was him too.
You think so?
Because Dane's over here like, you don't think they could have lasted 3 days longer?
I don't know. I really thought it was like, no, she was like, needing
Maybe,
to be
because they're
back.
like really, like they mention in the book that Sigale and Taryn, they're both so powerful and their mating bond is so strong
Strong.
that they do have to be around each other
Yeah.
all the time. I get it.
I do. I don't know if
It's
it's
sweet.
I think Zayden still wants to be around Vi,
Mm-hmm.
but I really do think
Right.
Sigale was like, no, we're going.
Yeah, exactly. But also, like, bonus points for Violet, Mira is there. And she is so happy. She literally breaks into tears. She gets to hang out with her sister for a week because her squad is stationed there.
Yeah.
So cool. And then I loved the strategy class whenever Mira's like basically telling them, what would y'all do? And it's Zayden, Dane, Violet, half of their squad's in there. And Zayden and Dane are just bickering like high school boys would
Yeah.
bicker. And we find out in this bickering mess that Zayden and Violet can mind speak.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. That was such
Love
a
it with-
plot twist to me because it was like she's just sitting in class and Dane and Zayden are going at it. And I think she like chimes in a little bit. It's like, Dane, shut up. And Zayden goes, yeah, why don't you
Mhm.
make him shut up? And only she can hear it. And she just
Mhm.
whips her head to him and is like, wait, what?
What is going on here? I love when
And
characters
she goes,
can
don't
mind speak.
Yeah, and he like in the mind speaking too, she's
Mhm.
like Zayden to her is like, don't give us away.
No,
Don't
like,
give
oh,
us
you
away
can't
now.
no, be careful.
Yeah.
They'll find out.
Let this be our little secret, which is really cool because if
Mhm.
people found out about that, it would just kind of get around, but they
Right.
literally keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I think that's smart, having little secrets. It gives them an advantage.
It does.
At this point, they are basically like badass number 1 and 2. They are the couple to beat. They're not even a
Absolutely.
couple at this
But-
point, but like,
Didn't you think the mind speaking though totally gave Akatar vibes again?
yes, I was literally going to say it, but I stopped myself because I had mentioned it in the last one.
I know, but it's like she's pulling from laws of different things.
I
And
mean-
so Akatar is A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a big series too. Sarah J. Maas.
We will get into that eventually.
Yeah, we mentioned it in the last scene, or the last podcast, but they can mind speak to each other in that
I
one.
love it. I love when characters can mind speak to each other. It's in a lot of fantasy books.
It kind of has to be because I feel like
It
it's
gives
just,
a good
yeah,
just
it
oomph.
does.
It just gives a good oomph.
So
It's
but
like
now
there's a
they can mind-
secret conversation that nobody else knows about.
Yes.
I think I like it. I'm here for it. But while they are here at a town that I can't remember the name that they get sent to, I'm sorry about that. But there is an attack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's an attack, and so they're all like, let's get these kids out of here. The squad's got to go. Violet's like, no, we can stay. And Zayden's like, I can stay and help. You know I can. And Mira's like, no, get her the F out of here.
This is
Talking to
for-
Zayden and Dane, and Zayden and Dane actually agree on this part.
Yeah.
Even though Violet is pissed that she has to leave her sister. Like,
Yeah.
pissed.
And they're under attack, so now she doesn't know if Mira is gonna die, basically.
Right. The only
Um,
way she was able to get out of there, Zayden like kisses her on that
Yeah.
rooftop and was like, "Let's go, honey. You got to get out of here."
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, okay."
And does Dane see that? I think he does, doesn't
no,
he?
he had already flown off at this point.
Oh,
So they
so
fly back off to the
nobody
college.
knows
Nobody
still.
knows still. They fly off to the college. At this point, Violet's waiting outside a room trying to figure out if Mira had lived. Zayden shows up to like comfort her because he knows that's where she's going to be,
Yeah.
and to wait for one of the scribes to see like what happened at this battle. And Zayden and her are talking, and then Dane shows up, and he's like, "Oh, were you here all night? Can I help you? Can I get you anything?" And she's like, "No." And Zayden's mind speaking to her like, "Obviously not, bro." Like making fun of him, and it's so funny to me.
I know. And like this
I loved
part,
that part.
Violet's kind of like, no, Dane, like
No, Dane, like,
go away.
go away, honey.
Yeah, I really like Zayden, and so they're kind of just teasing with each other the whole time.
Mhm. And so at this point,
Ooh, little pause because we don't know where we are in our notes.
yeah, I did the
Well,
exact
so
same thing.
war games. This is
War
basic-
games.
Yeah, because they're kind of teasing each other, and then it goes into war games.
Right.
War games is basically capture the freaking flag.
Oh, I liked it. I liked war games. So they were like given a flag, and
They just had to capture it.
they had to hide it and capture it.
well,
Yes.
with their dragons and stuff, so it's not just like this easy like little game.
This is also where Zayden and Taryn give her a saddle.
Oh,
I loved the saddle. Okay.
Oh, that was great. I just loved that. So basically, Taryn was using his powers to hold her on, and it
Mhm.
just wasn't working.
She kept falling off.
yeah, and
Fell off multiple times.
a dragon has to have a strong rider, but he wants Violet.
he wants Violet.
So they make her a saddle.
He says something like, "You've been working as hard as everyone else.
Yeah.
Just because your body isn't built like everyone else doesn't mean you should suffer."
that's
And
so
that little
wonderful.
line, I was like, oh, if more people thought this way, honestly. It's
I
like,
agree.
it's not her fault she's built small.
I know.
She's just small girl. But yeah, the saddle was super sweet.
it keeps her in.
Honestly,
Now she
I
doesn't
don't
have to-
understand why none of them, like, why don't everybody use a saddle?
I don't know.
If
That's
it's
what I
that
kinda
hard
thought
to sit
too.
on the dang dragon, like, why doesn't everybody just have one?
Well, because that just shows you as a dragon rider how
Yeah, you
strong
gotta be
are.
really strong.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I get it.
So
So they're at the war games. They got to capture this flag. Jack's going after her.
Jack's being a dick again.
Always. Liam gets in trouble, and Violet does help Liam. I do remember that part, big part, because it plays into later. But she saves Liam, and she can feel like this bubbling power happening in her. And she's like, "Oh no, is my signet about to literally show
That's-
itself during the games?"
Yeah, that's right. And she's just like, I don't know what this feeling is. I'm about to explode.
Yeah, and when she finds out that Jack was like targeting Liam, she gets so pissed that literally her signet power
Comes out,
erupts, and it's
which is
lightning.
It's
She
lightning.
lightning bolts Jack's ass off a building. Def no
What,
R.I.P.
Is it
there.
a building?
He was like on a turret or
Oh.
something.
I
Maybe
thought
it was a mountain.
I thought it was a mountain.
It might have been. I thought it was a building, but it might have been a mountain.
Either way, kind of all that was a little fuzzy. I kind of just pieced it together. Was like, okay, wait, she's on her dragon. She's trying to manifest her thing, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a lightning bolt. Bam, she hits Jack.
Mhm.
Jack basically flies off everything, and
She doesn't hit Jack. She hits like the side of wherever he's standing, mountain, building, whatever it
Building,
is,
and
and
it
then he
comes-
falls.
and then he falls.
Yes.
Okay.
Regardless, glad
He is
Jack
dead.
is
R.I.P.
gone. Thank God.
Thank God.
That bully is out of here.
Yeah, I was not sad about that. I was actually really happy when he died.
Yeah, and so they end the war games. I'm pretty sure they win. I don't remember her saying if they won or not. I think she got the flag though. but she's down there and she's kind of like freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, I have this signet power. It's lightning. It's literally meant to destroy. I just killed somebody. And then Dane comes up, kisses her, and is babying her. Like, you don't have to use it. You don't have to use it. And Zane's like, shut the fuck up. Like, yeah, she does.
Yeah,
She's
does.
a badass.
Mhm.
They are definitely going to make her use it. Don't tell her a lie.
Yeah, and so we might as well train her to use it and be powerful rather than just to hide it. And she can use it in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
So, which she doesn't really know yet, and that's why she's kind of griping about her
Yeah, and she was just
doesn't
like,
want it. It's going to be really powerful, and she wanted something that would make her an advantage of being smarter.
she wanted to like heal or
Yeah.
something like her brother Brennan. But no, she gets this power that literally destroys. And it's just kind of a lot to her.
It
a lot.
is.
But Xaden, he said something. He said, like, it's a good thing you killed Jack now because he would have just gotten worse as he had gotten older and gotten stronger. So it's glad to just put him down and move on.
Yeah.
But he does take her to his room after this just to, like, make sure she's going to be okay,
I mean, you can
reassures her
make
some
me
more.
feel okay too.
I know, Zaddy. Just take me to your room. It'll be fine.
And of course, they end up doing it.
Finally. God, finally.
It is intense. So now that she has like her thunder and lightning, and they're in this dorm room.
I'm
and
sorry, but
they're-
her writing style of the sex scene, I was like, whoa, she just used that word. Like, she used the C-U-N-T word.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, I can't even say it. I might
See
be a
you
child.
next Tuesday.
There you go. See you next Tuesday. And I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, I'm getting a little hot over
They
here.
break everything in that room.
I was here for it.
And then there's lightning every single time she has a
It was
fun little climax.
little cheesy.
It's cheesy, but you know
Like, every
what?
time she comes, it's just gonna be lightning strike.
Lightning, thunder.
She got to get that on lock there, baby girl. Like, let's
Well, and
bring
I
it down
think
a
they're
little bit.
talking to each other through their mind. It's like a big old thing. And let's be real, we're here for the spice.
I was.
It's a little cheesy, but who cares? You
It
know
was
it
a
was a
little
page
cheesy.
page.
I know. I was just like, oh, okay, here we go. Oh, they're breaking more
I'll-
shit. I'm here for it.
I think I was reading around Savvy, my daughter, and I was like, I don't think I
Oh,
can be
God.
reading this right now.
Sometimes that happens to me where I'm like over here in a corner, just like,
So my mom actually mentioned that to her, and we were there with a couple of her friends, and she goes, back in the day when you had like the hard copy, and it was maybe that whole book was the spice book.
oh, people would like see the front cover.
People would take the covers off, or people would hide it in like a magazine if they were reading like on a plane. She goes, that was a thing.
That's
You didn't
so
want
funny.
people knowing you were reading this book.
Smut books.
Uh-huh. Big
Wow.
time.
Everybody now is like, I love smut and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Give me more
We're-
smut.
We're embracing it now. So yeah, so
Oh,
they love him, and it's gonna be great. However,
Yeah, but like afterwards, it was so annoying because he's like,
you're gonna be the death of me.
you're gonna be the death of me. Don't fall for me, Violet. And she's like, well, wait, you're not gonna tell me how to feel. Which A++, Violet. Good job. Proud of you for telling him like, no. But also kind of annoying because we want them to be together.
I know. So it's just kind of like prolonging stuff. You're like, okay,
It was prolonging. It's like they could have just been together and been badasses together.
yeah. And instead, now you have another little drop. When are they gonna get back together? Basically.
Mhm.
So, but while they were doing it in the bedroom there,
Mhm.
they're knocking everything over. They knocked down Violet's book.
The folklore book.
The folklore book, which we forgot to mention that
Oh,
Mira,
yeah.
when she was at the
the squad thing.
yeah,
When she went to visit the active squad, Mira gave her the folklore book back. Ooh, that's a tongue twister.
from her dad.
From her dad, yeah. Because in the beginning, Mira had taken that book out of her pack. She's like, you don't need this.
It's just a bunch of kids' stories.
Yeah,
They're made
and,
up.
but she kept it and she gave it back because she had it
Loves
with her,
her.
and that's so sweet.
So the book falls off of the table or the dresser or wherever
Mhm.
it was, and it kind of breaks apart.
There was something in the
the
front
bind of the
cover.
book,
Yeah.
yeah.
There was a note from her dad. And it was kind of a cryptic note, but it did say all it takes is one generation to change history and how it's remembered. That's the clue. It's a big Easter egg right there. Which at the
Well-
time when I was reading, I didn't really pick up on it. I was like, oh, okay, so her dad's crazy. Cool. Move on. But-
Yeah, they kind of skim over it. They're just like, that's a weird note.
Yeah, they're like, what is he trying to tell me?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just okay, and then
Well,
this
yeah.
stupid thing. So after that, there's a huge Time jump.
Yeah, because they're not sleeping together. She's like, okay, well, he doesn't want me to fall for him, so we can't be together. And
Yeah.
it's like 6 weeks or 6 months. I'm not sure. A
But
long time passes.
All of a sudden, this is where I don't really like her style of writing.
Yeah.
So you go through the whole book, the whole first part of the school year, no time jumps.
super detailed.
Super
They're
detailed.
going into everything.
Lots of like action packed stuff. And then
Mhm.
the second semester of school, the last part of school year, there's nothing.
Yeah, we were in January, and now it's like the end of the school year, and it's graduation time.
Okay.
Graduation is 3 days away. I
Okay.
remember she saying
It
that, and I
just
was
was
like, oh,
all
so
of-
Zayden's about to leave? They
Yeah.
literally wasted all that time?
It was just kind of it. She didn't have anything to fill it.
I
and
guess so.
And it was like, let's just skip over this. So I
Yeah.
didn't really care for that.
No, I was not a fan of that either, because it's just like, oh, it's reunification day, and I'm like, well, what the hell is
Is
that?
that? And they're like, well, it's like graduation, basically. It's
It's the day when they reunified and they executed all the rebel kids' dads and moms.
Yeah.
Which is like really sad. So the rebel
And-
kids obviously hate this day.
Yeah, and there's a party.
There's a party. We're introduced to the king. Her mom is there. Old Lilith being a bitch to Violet.
I know. She's just rude. Like,
She's like, oh, well, how are you doing with your dragons? I hear you can wield lightning now. It's like, Lilith, come on. Can't you just be like, how are you doing, sweetheart?
yeah, I can actually talk to you.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, so
She goes to this party. Liam actually goes with her, which I thought
I
was
know.
so sweet. He is literally the only rebel kid there. People are looking at him, making like disgusted faces of him, and Violet notices and is like, "Oh my God, why did you come?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Because it's my job to
protect you, and I
Yeah.
need to make sure you're safe and you're okay.
God, I
And,
love Liam.
you know, he's the best.
He was literally one of my favorite characters while reading the story.
I know.
Like,
He's my favorite
Top
too.
3 for sure.
And then freaking Dane is, of course, is at the party and
Mhm.
touching her goddamn face again.
Oh, this is where the touch of the face, he like steals her memories, which we find out later. We'll go into it more later, but seriously, back it up a little bit. Violet wanted to know more about Xaden, and there was one night Xaden comes back late, and she's like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "I can't tell you." And she's like, "Just trust me. Like, I want you to trust me. We should trust each other." And he says, "Okay, I've been at Athabine."
Which is
It's just a town that he's been doing some stuff at.
interesting. So that's
Uh-huh.
all we find out.
That's all we find out. But Dane touches her face after that.
And so you
And
think
sees
that
that.
okay, so he knows about Xaden.
He knows about Satan and Athabine.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, so I didn't get that. When
He's
I was reading.
like a little bitch memory stealer. He is. Those are my notes there.
So that's basically the party. And then after the party, she's like in her nice little dress, and Xaden is being a baby because he doesn't like that day, which for good reason. That's the day his dad died. And
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
celebratory
it's a
of
sad-
all of the dads that died, you know,
All of the rebels that died.
And so, yeah, of course, Xaden's going to be sad. And here comes, he's sitting on the parapet.
Yes.
And Violet finds that out, and she finds him, goes there, walks across it
In her dress.
in her dress so
I
that
thought
she
this
could
was so
die
dumb.
again. And
I hated
was-
this part. It was so
this was
cheesy.
so cheesy. It reminded me of this stupid rom-com, like, kind of
I need to be for you.
like Reese Witherspoon on what's that movie, Sweet Home Alabama, when she's on the beach and she's like, oh, kiss me.
But I do love me some Sweet
Well,
Home
I mean, me
Alabama.
too.
It's one of my top
But
10
that's
for
what
me.
it kind of reminded me
Yeah.
of. It was like, I love you, Xaden.
It was Violet's big gesture, but the big gesture it felt a little flat for me. It was just like,
yeah.
why are you going on this thing that you were terrified of in a dress during a storm?
Yeah.
It's
and
like
he's
you could have
"What
just
are you
been like,
doing?
yo,
Get
Xaden,
back."
come over here. And he would have got up and walked over. He's not going to be like, oh, you walked out here for me. That's
well,
so good.
He does. He falls for it. He loves her.
Yay, they
He's
love
like,
each other again.
I won't keep any secrets from you ever. And I love you. And
Again, that's why the time jump's so dumb. Because, like,
Yeah.
it literally is like, oh, we're not going to be together. Now we're together again.
exactly.
I wasn't a big fan of it.
And then, of course, they go back to his room and they trash it.
Oh, they do it like 5 more times.
5 more times. and
All in
they're-
one night.
They're up all night long. And then, so
Ag-
it's very spicy. They're breaking shit again.
Mhm.
She's throwing lightning bolts
All of a
around.
sudden, she's like, we're still doing it whenever somebody bounds on the door.
Yeah.
we're
and-
going for round 5.
I swear.
I liked that part. That was funny though. I was
What's
like,
behind-
oh, they're just still up doing it. whenever some alarm sounds.
Well, so the alarm's going off. People are banging on the door now, and they're like,
It was
"Get
Garrick,
up,
I
get
think.
up."
Yeah.
And they come out.
They're like, is someone dying? And they're like, I think multiple people have died,
Died.
actually. They want all of us down here.
They're getting ambushed, and so they're running out, and they're like, "Oh, Violet, go, come on, get out of the bedroom."
Violet's wearing his jacket.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want one of those. I've seen people talk about it online, like a rider jacket of
Oh,
Zayden's. You can get one.
okay. Here for it. Here for it.
It might be a little lame, but I kind of want one.
Who cares,
Right? Just have a fourth wing emblem.
The people,
Zayden.
the people that will know, they will know.
I know. They'd be like,
Oh my
and they
God.
love it.
Exactly.
Everybody else would just be like, okay, so she's wearing a jacket. Cool.
So yeah, cool. So this is the part where basically we're headed towards the end of the
Yeah.
book. It gets intense. So they think they're being ambushed, and what kind of happens? They get on their dragons and they are told to go to.
Well, they're first told it's not an ambush, but it's the last part of the war games.
well, okay.
So they're
sorry.
sending off squads and wings to places where there's supposed to be like a mock battle.
Gotcha.
It's not supposed to be real. Let's
They're
remember
kind
that.
of
It's
thinking,
not.
well, they know it's war games, so
They didn't know it when they were woken up. They wanted him to make it feel like, oh, this is how it would be in a real battle.
Gotcha.
But it's supposed to be a mock battle. So they get there, and it's kind of chaotic. People are trying to figure out where they're supposed to be stationed. Violet is supposed to be with Dane's squad, but Xaden is like, Violet and Liam, I want you two with me.
yeah.
And
Keep an
Dane
eye on him.
is fighting him. He's like, no, you are going to get her killed. Don't go with him, Violet. And she's like, I like Xaden. He will protect me.
He will, because if I die, he dies. So
Exactly.
he's not gonna let me die.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically-
that's what her thought process
Yeah.
is. But Dane's like, okay, well, I'll miss you, Violet.
The way he says
Little
that
brat.
is really strange. It's like, okay,
like he
I'm
knows
not
what's
gonna-
about to
I'm-
happen.
Yeah, you're gonna die, and I'll miss you because I know you're gonna die.
Because we find out that this is basically a trap for Xaden.
it's a trap.
It is his graduation present that Navarre is giving to him to be like, okay, we're going to test your loyalty. We're going to send you to a place that is actually going to be attacked. And you're going to have to choose either to stay and help these people or go off to what we want you to do
Yeah.
and stay loyal to us. But before that happens, they take a little break from flying to Athabine is
Yeah,
where they're
'cause
stationed.
Because Athabine, it's like 6 hours away, right?
It's outside the wards.
So
So
it's-
it's outside of the protection of the magic.
Gotcha.
It's just a little bit outside. It's still part of their territory, but it's outside of the wards that protect the main part.
okay, so it's a really long flight.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going. They're like, okay, we need a break. We need to stop for a
Yep.
second.
Violet and Xaden sneak off. They're going to go make out in the woods. And then they're kind of snuck up on by some flyers. Flyers are Griffin riders.
Okay.
And if we remember, Griffin riders are from Peromial, and they're supposed to be the enemies of Navarians.
That's right.
So Violet's like all up in arms. She's like,
oh my God, we have to. Now this is like a mini little fight. We
Yeah,
gotta fight
she-
you off.
You start hearing thunder strikes, and Xaden
my
tells
God.
her no. He's like, no, don't do it. And so Violet's like, what?
Why?
WTF? Why? What's going on? And then they start to have a conversation, and it becomes very obvious that Xaden
Is working with them.
yeah, he's been keeping stuff from Violet, which I'm sorry, we knew about this. Like, there were hints all in the beginning of the book. Like, he's coming back late, he's having secret meetings, and she notices it, but then, like, I guess forgets it because she's in love.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ugh, come on, girl, you're smarter than this.
Yeah. So now she's all mad at him.
All mad, calling him Ryerson, no longer Xaden to her.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, you're Ryerson now.
Yeah. And you're keeping things from me. I don't like it.
We're
we will
done.
never be the same.
Yeah.
So she basically breaks. She's super mad.
She's
which,
super pissed.
on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're going to be super pissed, which she is at a 10, I didn't really justify it as a 10. I thought it was like at a 5.
I was like,
Okay, yeah, okay, you're upset.
Yeah.
He kept it from you. He should have probably told you.
but
But are you really?
he didn't trust you because of like he didn't know how you were going to react. He wanted to make sure that you were going to react the right way because like he's trying to help people. He was only friends with these Griffin riders because he's giving them weapons to fight the Venin because apparently Venin are real,
Yes.
which we find out.
Okay, and we find out very soon. So
Yeah.
they get back on their dragons. They're riding.
They go to Athabine.
Yes. Then describe this part because I was a little lost on it.
I was a little lost too. Okay, so they leave their little break spot. The Griffin Riders had told them that there were Venin attacking them not far away. And if y'all are heading to Athenbean, beware. So they go to Athenbean, they get to where they're supposed to be for the war games, and there's a letter left for the wing leader.
Okay.
And it basically says
for the
that-
wing leader, which means Xaden.
Yeah, for Xaden. And which basically means, okay, it says you have two options. You can stay and help these townspeople, or you can go and meet your squad back where you're supposed to within the wards. It's a loyalty choice. Are you going to help people who are not Navarians, or are you going to come and help the Navar? Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay, so what's happening? And Liam, with his farsight, he sees these creatures coming towards the fort that they're at. He's like, I think we've got some trouble. And these creatures coming towards the fort are the Venin.
Okay.
And so for those of y'all that don't remember, the Venin are the people who they have gotten magical powers from the earth. They've been drawing it from the earth instead of from their dragons. So they are
Very
evil.
powerful. They're evil.
Basically evil witches.
Okay.
Red eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
For
do
another
crazy-
Game of Thrones little reference, like the dead people that are in there, that show, that's
Mhm.
kind of what I was picturing with just red eyes. Is that
Oh, it is
that
kind of like-
wrong?
I mean, they're not dead like the undead,
Okay.
but I
But there are
see the
people?
resemblance. I see the resemblance.
I don't know. That's literally, I just pictured
They're
literally
corrupt.
them with red eyes.
Yeah.
Flying around with
It's a good depiction. It's
I
a good
don't know.
depiction. I kind of see warlocks because they're all caped. They have like purple
Gotcha.
capes and red eyes, gray skin. It's kind of like almost mirror opposites of the White Walkers. But yes, I see that.
Okay.
I see the resemblance.
White Walkers. Oh my God. I couldn't think. I was like, dead people from
The dead
Game of
people.
Thrones. White Walkers.
White
Anyways,
Walkers.
wrong.
The others.
We'll go back to it. But yeah, that's kind of what I was picturing. So, so
It's very similar though. I see the resemblance there. I get you there.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So they now have to fight these Venin. At first they think, oh, there's only 3 of them. There's like 8 of us plus the Griffin Riders. We got this. It'll be fine. We'll take them down. No. These Venin are super strong. They're looking for something. There's something in Athenbean that they want. And the Dragon Riders, Xaden gives them a choice. He's like, I'm staying. If y'all want to stay, great. Or you can fly off to wherever and be safe.
Yeah.
Everybody stays, obviously.
Obviously, they're gonna follow him. They don't want to let anybody down.
Nope.
So,
But then we find out that there's wyverns. The Venin have brought wyverns.
what the hell is a wyvern?
Okay, so wyverns are very similar to dragons. And in this story, wyverns have 2 legs, dragons have 4. But the
Okay.
wyverns were created by the Venin.
I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. No, keep going. I like your description of it.
Okay. Wyverns were created by the Venin. So their power comes from the Venin, where in contrast, the Dragon Riders,
Okay.
the people get their power from the dragons because that's natural. Dragons are born with powers. It's very natural, where it's kind of the opposite with the Venin and the Wyvern.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, let's kill these Wyvern. It'll kill the Venin. Nope. They kill these Wyvern. Venin are still out there killing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. And so there's a big battle.
Yeah, which the battle, again, I don't really care for her style of writing because it was so
Very
confusing
hard to follow.
and it was so very hard
Very
to
hard to follow. I wasn't able to get like the full grasp of it until I read or listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, and so battle, everybody literally picture a battle between all these
Mhm.
dead things, dragons.
There was just a lot of characters.
A lot of
I was
characters,
getting
too much
confused.
going on. And so we're just gonna jump to it.
Ugh,
The,
The worst-
heartbreaking scene. Liam dies, guys.
the
Spoiler
worst
alert.
part. Worst part of this entire book. We knew it
yeah.
was coming. I mean,
We knew somebody was gonna die. To be honest, they had to. It's a book, and to keep things going.
I get it, but like, did it have to be Liam?
I know. It
was
so.
great.
It was a really sad
Liam
moment.
was fine. He was fine. He wasn't hurt, but a Venin attacked his dragon, or a Wyvern attacked his dragon. His dragon
died,
died.
which means you died.
A dragon without a rider is a tragedy, but a rider without a dragon is dead.
is dead, and so
They can't survive without their dragons after
so
they're
he's
together.
he died, and then Violet's there with him. Xaden's talking through Violet's mind saying like, I'm coming.
Yeah,
And
come,
he's hurry. And he's talking to Violet. Violet's there. And he basically dies like in her arms. And it is just the saddest thing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so,
Xaden carries Liam to his dragon because
Yeah.
Liam wants to be next to his dragon. They're all there.
they're all there.
He dies. But then they're still getting attacked by these wyvern. So they're like, well, what are we going to do about all these?
They don't really know how to defeat them.
And well, now Violet's pissed. She is beyond pissed.
She loved Liam.
And Terran's like, I'm going to help you. Oh, no, it's Indarna. And Darna comes up.
She's like, I think if we stop time.
Yeah, she kind of starts like kind of pausing time a little bit. And so Violet figures out that if she attacks the Venom, all the wyvern would die. So Indarna kind of like slows time down to where the lightning strikes can go to the Venom.
Yes.
But not before a Venom jumps on Terran's back and stabs Violet with a poison knife.
So now Violet is injured. She's like, I'm still gonna power through this.
She powers through. She gets them all.
She gets them all. Lightning strike. Boom. She
Yay.
got some. Now she's like almost.
But then
gonna
she
die.
falls off Terran's back and basically almost dies. They
Yes.
save her. Xaden's freaking out. Like, we're too far away from Besgaius to get her there. What are we
She's
going to
got
do?
Poison in her. What the hell are we gonna do? And he looks at his cousin, right?
I can't remember if it was Garrick or both. I think it was both of them. And he's like, we're going to take her to.
And they're like,
The place.
don't take her. Don't
They're
take
like,
her.
if you do this, there's no going back.
What's the? Oh my god!
And so
you're like, wait.
I know, we're like,
where
what's-
is he gonna take her?
And he takes her to Aratia.
Aratia is where Xaden grew up,
It's the capital of Tyrandor.
and the town is still being rebuilt. It was destroyed,
It was destroyed in the big battle back in the rebellion. Mm-hmm.
so they're there. Violet, Xaden is sitting at her bedside at every waking
days.
moment.
Days. He misses Liam's funeral, which I don't really like that. I was not a fan that he like literally
agree.
skipped it. Like, that's his little brother. She
Yeah.
ain't been waking up. Hopefully, I would have just like prayed that she didn't wake up during it, but she would have understood if you had gone.
I 100% agree.
I didn't agree with that part, but
I know.
moving on.
She then wakes up
She finally wakes up.
and she's all pissed off at Xaden.
She's like, "Where am I?"
"Oh, you shouldn't have brought me here." And
Well, she figures out it's Aratia, and she's
She-
like, "Oh, it's rebuilding. Why does nobody know about this?"
She looks out the window and she sees it and she's
Mhm.
like, what the hell is going on? She's all confused. She's still kind of in a fog. And she's like, Xaden, I don't want to be with you. I don't have any trust for
I don't
you.
trust you. Why are we here?
This doesn't make any sense. And here opens the door.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this is a huge spoiler, guys. I mean, I don't think you would have listened to the whole
No.
podcast if you didn't
But
want
we
this.
find out
But
how
we
she was.
find out that her brother is still alive.
It was Brennan.
Who
Brennan
saved
healed her. Crazy.
That was the best part. It's literally the last line.
I was just like, what? It was like, welcome to the resistance, Violet, as Brennan walks in. And he also was like, I told you I knew better poison masters.
Yes.
And it was,
It was
Brennan.
so
It was
good.
Brennan.
If you guys can't see us right now, we're just like shaking at each
Oh,
other. 'cause
it was
so,
good.
So exciting. Honestly,
The end of the book, I was just like, damn. She just like tied it all together.
she really did.
I did like I did like how she tied it all together. How like there were things in the beginning of the book where she was like, "Why is this happening? Why is that happening? Oh, it's because Venom are effing real, and the whole entire country has been keeping it from us. The government has been keeping it from us."
Mm-hmm.
That was where the quote from her dad tied in.
Yes.
That all it takes is one generation to reverse history or to like change history.
Yeah. And you just lots of Easter eggs that went throughout the whole
Lots
book.
of Easter eggs
Tied through, especially when Brennan at the very end of the book, like you said, says, "Welcome to the Resistance, Vi."
Loved it.
And
It's
the
like-
Resistance was so holy shit. He knew about it.
He knew about
He-
it.
and
He,
he was
didn't
in
die.
on it.
He didn't die.
It was a whole setup.
so
and it was-
something else happened.
Oh my god!
I'm so ready for book 2. I have so many theories. Let's start with the book, the big 3.
Let's do the big 3. So,
Oh.
what was your rating?
I have
on
been
this book?
like going to my wine. I'm over here hot and bothered. I got so excited with the end of this book.
Okay, so what did you rate it? Like the whole thing,
The entire
start
thing.
to finish.
I think I did an 8.5.
Yeah,
It was very solid. There were parts that were cheesy. Some of the writing style I wasn't a big fan of, but honestly, for the most part, I was
Yeah.
A++.
Oh, it totally got me there. I was about almost a 9, probably.
Yeah.
I want to say an 8.5, but I'm not going to steal yours. I'm pretty sure I was a little higher. I want to say about a 9. When I finished it, I was like, "Where's the second book?"
I'm ready for the second one.
I need to see what
I
happens.
think that second one is really gonna
She tied it in really well, just like you. A lot. I'm gonna have to say a lot of her writing style. I really didn't care for.
Yeah. The story though, the story was
overall,
great,
and it kept me entertained.
Yes.
Like, of course, I just kept going.
I was
like,
very
okay,
entertained. The
see what
writing, it could have been a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
It could have been, we could have got more information, but I feel like this next book is going to be a little bit of an information dump.
Oh, I hope not.
Like, no, I'm not here for. I
No.
like it when we get more information because then I'm more grounded in the story.
True, it's a lot, but then it pieces it together.
Yeah.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now who would you kill off?
Oh, at the very end,
Yeah.
her mother still. I'm still here for killing off Lilith and Dane. I really want his ass to die.
Now that I knew that he
Really
betrayed,
want his ass to die.
I want him dead.
He 100% betrayed
and I
him.
want to see how I think there's going to be like a battle between the resistance of what's going on
Mhm.
and the school now, and Dane's going to be a part of it, and they're going to meet up and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I'm also worried
So-
about like Rhiannon and Riddick. What are
Well-
they gonna do? Because they're still with the school.
School. I know they don't know what's happened yet,
Ugh,
so a lot.
sad about that.
Lot's going to go down.
Oh yeah.
If you could rename this book, would you?
I mean, I wouldn't, but the only thing I would rename it would be like Bezgaeth, but that would be
That
too
sounds stupid.
Thank you.
Nobody's going to read
Thank you. My
that.
idea sucks.
No, love your idea.
No, but I
No, what I'm saying is that like when you have a book, you're gonna want people to pick it up, right?
yeah, and you
If you
can't.
named it Beg's Gaia,
Well, the only reason I did the only reason I did that was because that's where the majority of the story takes place.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, no, you can't even
But
say the
yeah,
word.
but
You're
do it.
like no.
if I saw that on Barnes Noble shelves, I would have been like, "Excuse me, what the hell is this?" And move on. I probably wouldn't change it. Maybe dragons are awesome.
Dragons are awesome. That's what you're gonna name it. All right. Well, I'm here
Better
for
than
it.
yours.
Whatever.
Oh, if you saw a book with a cool cover said dragons are
Riders.
awesome. Ooh,
Riders.
Ryerson.
Right.
Ooh,
Oh, Zaddy.
Zaddy.
Just read this book for Zayden. That's what the name of the book should be.
Okay, so what are your theories then?
Oh my god. I
there's a
have
few.
so many. Okay. My main theory. So we know that if Taryn or Sigil dies, then both of their dragon riders will die.
Yes.
Xaden and Violet. Now, multiple times throughout the end of this story, Xaden was saying, "You're going to be the death of me" to Violet. I think that's foreshadowing.
You think that she's gonna have a part in his death?
I don't think it's going to be intentional, but I think he's going to try to save her. He's going to die. Sigil's going to die. Taryn's going to die. But Violet is going to be able to stay alive because she has Andarna.
Oh my god!
She has
you
that
think
extra
the
part.
second dragon is gonna keep
Yes, I do.
interesting.
And then
that's a good theory.
I'm sorry, we have 5 books.
Yeah, see, but when do you think that's gonna happen?
I
The
have
third book?
no idea. I just think it's
Fifth?
going to happen eventually. I think we might get another love interest. I think we're going to get a lot of what happened with Brennan.
Oh well, the second book's gonna be all about Brennan and how
I feel like
his death
yes.
occurred, how he figured it out,
Mhm.
why he chose to go with them. I mean, we're gonna figure all that out.
What do you think about Mira though? Do you think she will join her siblings in the
'Cause
resistance?
She doesn't know
She
yet.
doesn't know. She thinks he's dead. She probably thinks Violet's dead at
I
this
think
point.
right now, I think it's still a secret. And
do you think
people,
if
I
she's
think
given-
they're recruiting maybe the correct people, and Brennan's like, no, we can't just recruit.
Do
like,
you
my
think
family."
if she's given the choice, will she join the resistance or is she a loyalist to Navarre?
Oh God, so half and half on that. Do you think Violet's mom knows?
I think Violet's mom knows. I think there is something fishy going on with Violet's mom and her dad's death.
Oh, you like have something
Oh
to do
yeah,
with it?
I really hate her mom. I really think that she knows because she had that damn dagger in her office whenever they went to steal the map. There was that dagger in there that kills the Venom. So obviously her mom knows that Venom are real. Obviously the entire government knows. They're just keeping it from people to make them subdued and make them just believe their own story.
Yeah. There's gonna be
Right?
so many things
So many
to
theories.
uncover.
So many theories. I think we're also going to find out more about Andarna and find out why her parents died. what's up with that. Because also at the end, we find out that Andarna has grown a lot. So she doesn't have her time powers anymore. I think they like Feathertails grow out of those like intense powers when they're babies. So
She gets like a new power?
I think Violet's going to get a signet from Andarna, like some other kind of signet.
Like two? Like she could wield two freaking powers?
I think so.
That is such a good theory. I am just blown away because I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. Like, I didn't go
So many things.
I didn't go into any of this. And so this is so shocking that you really think that she's going to
I think she's going to have two powers. I think that Xaden eventually is going to end up dying. Terran, I don't want him to die, but I think they're all going to die. It's going to be Andarna and Violet left, and she's going to just basically be pissed and go to town. I don't know.
Oh my God. I'm here for it. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was fun. I think it was a very fun one to do for our first podcast.
Super fun one to do. Super great read.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I did too. So I think if that's it,
we're going to wrap up?
We'll wrap it up.
All right.
This was awesome.
I had a great time. So our next book is going to be Where the Crawdads Sing.
Yes.
We're going to discuss that and the movie with it.
Yeah. So we'll do a little compare and contrast, which will be really fun. That was such a fun summer read, I think 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to just kind of throw it back a little bit. Not too far back, but we really, really liked that book. So
yep. We're going to do that one. And if that's all, thank you guys for joining us at Roseanne Reads. My name is Sophia.
I'm Haley.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.